All right, you guys, episode 2 of War Stories. Eventually, I'm going to start dropping a disclaimer because of the things I'm going to be talking about. I don't think I need to do it on this episode. Statute of limitations then burnt up, so I ain't got to worry about it. But I think it's probably best that I drop a disclaimer in the future. I'll write one up so that I can just I can drop it at the beginning of these videos, man. I'm digging way back in the archives to bring you guys these stories. Usually, these type of things are they're not something that I normally talk about, but seeing as how this is what you guys want the dirt. I'm gonna give it to you, man. So that's what we're doing. Anyways, I'm gonna take you guys back to 1995. This was probably one of the best times of my life because my daughter was just born that year. Matter of fact, instead of getting straight into the story, let me back up and tell you guys. Let me start it off by just running through this little scenario that I had with my parole officer. Right before my daughter was gonna get born, man, it was fucked up. So I'm fresh out of Quentin. Again, I had that glow, man. I'm swole up. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you come out of prison, some of you were in the comments. Some of you commented on it. You know what I'm talking about. But I mean, you know, you're in prison. You're eating good. Most of the food in there is boiled, or steamed. So it's you know, you don't got no toxins in your body. You're used to sweating every day, doing burpees. You're working out, hitting the weight bag and shit, man. So one of the things that your boy was always been known for was my size, man. I've always had big ass arms. Homeboys that know boxer from Frisco will tell you, oh boy, I always had his swells on. I'm gonna peel off this shirt one of these days for all you naysayers, and you guys are gonna see what I'm talking about. And it helps. I've been hitting the weights since I got my legs back too, man. But anyway, so back in 1995, man, you know, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was still indulging in dope every now and then. Whether it was every now and then, at that time it was KJ, man. I didn't like KJ, but I really didn't. But if it was offered to me, I'd take a hit off that shit. Straight up, man. So this is what happened, man. I think my daughter's mom was within, I think she was within 4 or 5 months of having the baby. We already knew it was a girl. She had a sonogram and all that. So I knew my daughter was coming. And it was a good time for me, man. You know what I mean? I was looking forward to being there for the birth, to experience that, man. As a father, you know what I mean. I have a son that's older than my daughter, and I didn't get to experience that with him either. But I was really looking forward to it with my daughter. However, my dumb ass, I was down in the mission. I ran into a homeboy, Chris Pacheco, and he had raw ones. That's what they used to call them in the city back in those days. Raw ones, killers, matons, leños. Anyway, he had a raw one, and he blazed up, and he was like, "Hey B, you want to hit this motherfucker?" And I was like, "Man, fuck it, bro." So I hit that shit. I'm on parole. You know what I mean? And the next fucking day, my parole officer calls me and drops a random bottle on me. He says, "Hey man, I need you to come down to the office, and I need you to test, man." And I was trying to make every excuse I could, man. I got a job interview, whoop de wop, you know what I mean, wop de whoop, and he wasn't trying to hear it. He was like, "Hey man, I don't care what you got going on. Go do your job interview and then make your way down here." Dude was a punk, man. I forget his first name, but it's John Asenso. That was his name out of Daly City. He was with the Daly City region, or the Daly City office over there off Juniper Cerro. Anyway, so you know, I go down to the store. I get some of that. I forget what it's called. That you drink that shit and it's supposed to fucking clean you up. That shit didn't work, man. I drunk 1,000 fucking cups of water, and everything else that everybody was telling me to do. I tried all kind of fucking home remedies to try to clean myself up. Anyway, so the next day, I ain't had no fucking job interview. That's what I told him. But the next day, I go down to Juniper Serra, where the parole office is at, and I go test. Well, I knew I was gonna be dirty, so what I did is I got some clean piss from, I forget who I got it from, my girl, my cousin, somebody. I got some clean piss. I put it in a fucking one of them thick ass balloons, and I rigged it up to a fucking one of those fish tubes, a fit like a hose, one of them little small thin hoses. Straight up, man, I had to do what I had to do, man. I fucking taped the shit on my stomach, and I ran that line. I ran it down, and I ran it to my junk and taped it up. And because, oh boy, when I used to test, this fool, man, whenever I go into the parole office, and this was the only fucking parole officer that used to do this shit, he would literally be over my shoulder looking down at my shit, be like, all right, come on, man, test. And I'm like, dude, I can't test with you fucking all up on me like that, man. You know what I mean? And he's like, hey man, you gotta make it happen. Go drink some more water, do whatever you gotta do. So anyway, I'm in there, I'm trying to do the damn thing. I got it taped up under me. I'm not trying to be too fucking too graphic for you females out there, but anyway, I got it taped up so to where he shouldn't be able to see it. So anyway, I pulled a little plug and the motherfucker, it's not coming out. So he's standing there and he's like, what's up, man? You know what I mean? You gotta go. What, you need to drink some water? And I'm like, man, give me 15 minutes, man. You know what I mean? He was on this side of me. So what I did was I taped it. We went out in the waiting room. He went back in his office. I went back into the bathroom and I taped it to the left side since he was right here on my shit, right? So 15 minutes go by. I act like I'm drinking water, right? We go back into the bathroom and I'm assuming that we're gonna get into the same position. So I get up to the urinal and this fool comes to this side and it just, again, it's over my shoulder. And I'm standing there still. I'm trying, I got the shit taped to the side now. So there's a chance he could see it. And I'm like, I don't even want to try it. So I'm standing there again, man. And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I can't go, man. You know what I'm saying? And just the fact that I was fucking around started to raise suspicion. He was like, man, hey, I don't know what's going on with you, man. But, you just need to give me the test, man, and quit playing games, man. I'm like, man, ain't nobody playing games, man. I for one, I can't go with you hounding me like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking trying to go. You think I want to be up in there? You know what I'm saying? I got shit I need to take care of. Can I come back tomorrow? He's like, hell nah. You gonna drop that test, man, or I'm gonna cuff you up and take you to jail, right? I'm like, man, fuck it. So I'm to the point now where I'm like, you know what, man? If I can't give them the fucking the clean piss, I'm just gonna give them the real shit, and I'm gonna just have to deal with the consequences later. But like I said, man, my daughter's mom was within 5 months of having the baby, and I wanted to be there for the birth, right? So I was really trying to avoid that. I mean, this fool. I really didn't think he would be that fucked up to take that from me, man. A violation and give me a violation and basically cheat me out of the opportunity to see my only daughter born. Anyway, so he goes back in the office again. I go back out in the waiting room, and at that time I had my daughter's mom was out there. And I believe my I don't know who I had with me. There was 2 or 3 people with me though. I think my mom was there, and maybe even my stepfather. So anyway, I go back out to the waiting room and I tell him what's up. I'm like, hey man, this fool's tripping. You know what I'm saying? Fuck, I'm having a hard time dropping this fucking bottle, man. So anyway, what ends up happening is I go in for the last time, and I end up giving them the clean piss, right? It I end up retaping this shit underneath, man, and he got up on my shoulder again, and I got to a position where I was able to give it to him. So I gave him the bottle, and I'm good. I'm thinking, man, I'm straight, right? He got the clean piss. I tested. I'm out the way, man. I'm up out of here. So soon as I give him the bottle, right? I'm washing my hands and shit, and dude steps back, pulls out the handcuffs, and says, "Check this out, man. Now this is what I want you to do. I want you to strip out." Straight up, man. I'm like, strip out for what, man? He's like, dude, don't play with me, man. You know what I mean? You're in here fucking playing games and shit. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something. You're up to something. I don't know what it is, but you need to strip out. So I'm like, man, fuck it, man. Here. I reach up under my shirt. I fucking peel off this fucking balloon. I got a hose and shit. Got clean piss dripping out the end of the hose. And I'm like, here, man. And I throw it in the fucking garbage, right? And he's like, tell your family to tell them to go home, man. Just tell them to go home. I'm like, man, am I going to prison? He's like, man, just tell them to go home. I'm like, you can't tell me whether or not I'm going to prison? You can't give me that much? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man. Don't do me like that, man. My girl, she's about to have the baby. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, just tell him to go home, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out. So I go back out in the waiting room, and I tell my daughter's mom, go fucking open up the elevator. Go open the elevator. And they're like, what's up, man? Go open the elevator, man. I'll tell you in a minute. So she goes, and I'm standing in there, and I hear the elevator. Ding! I hear the little bell go off. So I walk out into the hallway. Moms and my stepfather follow me. We get in the elevator. I'm like, let's go, man. Let's go. And they're like, we're in the elevator, and they're like, what's up? And I'll tell you when we get in the car. So they're like, you're tripping. What are you doing? You running? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm running, man. This motherfucker's tripping. So anyway, we get in the car. They start the car. I duck down. I'm laying in the back seat and shit. I'm already on fucking run mode, man. You know what I'm saying? The chase is on, man. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're driving away, and they're like, why are you running? And I'm like, man, this motherfucker's tripping. And I tell them everything that happened. And they're like, stupid. If he was gonna violate you, he wouldn't have let you come back out in the waiting room. He would have cuffed you up and took you in the back right there. He let you come back out in the waiting room. You better go back, man. I'm like, you think so? Like a dummy, right? I'm like, you think so for real? Yeah, right. So anyway, we turn around. Man, turn the car around. Boop, we go back. As soon as I walk up in there, man, he's waiting, and I walk in. He opens up the door to go into the back where their offices are at. And I walk in, and as soon as I walk in, he turns around and he goes, put your hands up on the wall, man. And he pulls his handcuffs out, and I'm like, this motherfucker, man. I'm going to prison. I'm going back, man. You sending me back on a violation. And he's like, man, you got to go back, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to go back. I don't know what you're dirty. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're hiding. You know, what type of drugs you've been using, but I know you're dirty. And although I don't got a dirty test right now, I do have that contraption that you came in here and tried to beat the test. So I'm violating you for that. And I'm like, man, how much time you gonna give me, man? My girl has the baby in 4 months. So anyway, he's like, man, I'm gonna give you 30 days. And I'm like, 30 days? For real? Oh, fuck it, man. Let's do this, man. I can do that on top of my head, man. I'm happy now. You know what I mean? I come out in the waiting room, and I kiss my girl goodbye, and moms and shit, and I'll see you in 30 days, couple weeks. I'll be back, man. You know what I'm saying? This ain't shit. So anyway, he does the paperwork, you know what I mean? I'm cool now. I'm not even tripping on him. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey man, I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. I'm not even tripping. I'm like, cool, 30 days, man. That ain't shit. So anyway, long story short, man, we get ready to hit Frisco County Jail, 850 Bryant Street. And when we get there in the garage, he's like, "Do I need to put the cuffs? Do I need to keep the cuffs on you?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, I ain't gonna run. For what? I got 30 days, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ride that out, man." So he took the cuffs off. We walk up into the jail. He does the paperwork. They process me out. Boom. Day or two later, I'm on a bus. I'm fucking gone, man. I get to San Quentin. I'm validated. So I don't go to the reception center out to West Block, Badger, Carson, Donner. Ain't none of that happening. They send me straight to the fucking hole. So I get there. I go to ADSEG, right? Now I'm waiting to go. I don't even have to go to screening or well, yeah, I did have to go to screening, but no. As far as I know, I don't gotta go to screening or nothing because he gave me 30 days, so I already got my time. He's just giving me a 30-day kick, man. So anyway, while I'm there, a day or two goes by, 3 days go by, 4, and I'm tripping like I ain't got no paperwork, I ain't heard nothing. You know what I mean? They should be processing my dress outs and all that shit because I'm short. I'm supposed to be short. Anyway, I go to fucking committee, man. I go to committee and to get clear for the yard, go out there and kick it with the homies. And when I go to committee, I jam up the counselor and I kind of tell him, the situation that happened with the parole officer and the whole shit. I tell him, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You're validated. We don't do 30-day kicks here in ADSEG. So we're going to either have to let you go tonight or he's going to have to violate you for something else. But something's got to happen because we don't do 30-day trials for validated gang members." And I'm like, "What? For real?" So I'm thinking, man, I'm going home tonight, right? He's like, "So what's going to happen is we're going to have to get on the phone and call him. And like I said, he's either gonna have to cut you loose tonight, or he's gonna have to violate you for something else." So dude has always been a fucking punk, in his own way, but I just didn't think he was gonna fuck me like that, man. He's not gonna violate me for something else. He's gonna let me. I've already been there a week, almost 10 days. He's gonna let me come back home. Yeah, right. So check out what happens, man. We call, we don't get a hold of him. The counselor tells me, "Look, man, he's not there." We leave a message. The counselor tells me, "I'll call him tomorrow, and then I'll get back at you, and I'll let you know what's up." So, man, I'm tripping for the whole night, man. I'm fucking stressed out. What the fuck's gonna happen? Next day, counselor comes up. He's like, "Dude, I talked to your parole officer. You're not going home. He's violating you for something else. So you gotta wait for screening in Morrissey, the whole process." And I'm like, how long is it gonna take for fucking screening? And I've been through it before, so I know, man. He tells me it could be anywhere from 30 to 40 days. You know what I mean? That's the time constraints right there that they got. I'm like, man, 30 to 40 days, that's what I originally came in on, a 30-day kick, man. I mean, because there's a way that you can get it expedited, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, my girl's supposed to have a baby, and he's like, "Man, there's nothing I can do. You gotta let it run its course, man." You know what I mean? Morris or screening will call you when they call you. Hopefully you'll be at the top of the list. It won't be that long. You know what I mean? So, oh man, I'm there for about 30 something days. Screening finally comes at me. These motherfuckers offer me 10 months flat. This is when parole was real parole. Not this old rinky dink shit that these guys are on right now. That ain't no real parole. 30-day flash what do they call them? Flash violations or whatever, where they're doing 10 days or 15 days or that shit's crazy, man. Every time I got cracked for anything, they lay me down with 12 months flat, straight up. I probably did like 6, 7 years in violations because every time, man, I'm telling you, every time I get caught up for gang association or something like that, or even a test. Even that one time I was with Mateo's sister in the car with her, Sophie Rocha, they gave me 12 months flat. So, anyway, I was pissed, man. Fucking when screening comes at me with 10 months, I'm like, this is some fucking bullshit. Well, anyway, I get my paperwork and this fool dogged me out, man. He hit me with a violation for a dirty test, because by then he got the test back, right? Dirty test for PCP. He hit me for trying to get over on the test with the contraption. He hit me with that. He hit me with like 3 or 4 violations, man, and that's the reason why they came at me with 10 months. Then he threw in a bunch of negative shit, man. You know, this guy has only been out, has only managed to stay out for 30 days at a time. He continues to be involved in gang activity, and he continues to struggle with his addiction to different types of narcotics, right? This motherfucker. So that's why they slammed me with 10 months. Anyway, I don't take the 10 months, obviously. That's gonna put me way past the date where my daughter was expected to be delivered. So I'm thinking, man, I gotta go in there and put on a fucking an Academy Award appearance in front of fucking Morrissey. I gotta go and do my thing in front of fucking board. I gotta go talk myself up, man. And that's what I did. I ended up getting I forget what that fool was called. He was an old black dude, and he was known, not Mother Love. Mother Love, for those of you that have been around, if you guys know who Mother Love is, you motherfuckers have been on parole for way too long. Anyway, this guy was a cold cat, man. He would stick motherfuckers with 10, 12 months all the time. Every now and then he somebody catch a break with the dude, but most of the time he was fucking cats over, man. So anyway, I go to Morrissey. I go in there and I spill my guts, man. I mean, I go in there and I lay it on thick, man. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, whoop. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Make all kind of promises. And at the end of the day, he was like, "All right, man. I hear what you're saying. Well, so screening. They offered you 10 months. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offer you 11." Man, I was fucking pissed, man. I was like, 11 months. 11, so you're going to take that from me. The birth of my daughter. You think that's right under the circumstances? I was pissed, man. I damn near cussed that dude out. I was like, well, what happened to the 10 months, man? Can I get that back? You know what I'm saying? He was like, nah, dude, that went out the window when you declined to take it. So, 11 months flat. Have a good day, sir. It took every bit of strength that I could muster not to stand up and cuss that motherfucker out, man. I walked out madder than a motherfucker. The cop that escorted me to the boardroom, when we came out, he was like, dude, I've sat in on a lot of parole, on a lot of hearings. You shot that shit, man. You know what I mean? I gotta give it to you, man. I mean, I bought that shit. You know what I'm saying? That dude, he's hard line. You know what I mean? He's a hard dude. And I was like, yeah, man, I hear you, man. It is what it is, So, anyways, I ended up going back to Pelican Bay. No, matter of fact, I ended up doing that whole 11 months right there in San Quentin. Crazy. That's what happened. So while I'm in Quentin, I remember the date. Um, that was, when my daughter was supposed to be born. It approaches, and like I'm within a couple days of it. It was supposed to be like August and early August. Anyway, I remember I'm kicking back. I'm chopping it up with one of the homies. We're chopping it up on the tier. We're on the fourth tier. I'm in East Block. East Block at that time was still AdSay. Fourth, uh, the whole East Block, both sides were AdSay, and Death Row. So we're chopping it up, and the chaplain comes up to my gate, and he's like, "Mr. Mendoza," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Here, I got something for you," and he hands me a little small piece of paper, and I grab the paper, I open it up, and I look at it, and it says something like, "Brand new, healthy baby girl, something like 8 pounds, so many ounces, born," and then her name and all that stuff. And I was like, man, I can't even describe how happy I was, man, that I had a daughter. I was I was ecstatic, man. I told the homie, I was like, bro, man, shoot your line, homie. Let me share some of this happiness with you, bro. I want you to see what I just got right now. And homeboy shot his line, Loquito from Frisco, and I shot it to him, and he's like, "Damn, bro, congrats." You know what I'm saying? That's good, homie. I'm happy for you, bro. And hell yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I would end up getting out. I ended up paroling from right there in San Quentin. I pulled that 11 months. Um, I ended up paroling right there from San Quentin. I parole. Homeboy comes and picks me up. Uh, Homeboy Sal. This was uh, they I believe this was right before they started doing high control parole, or there was like one or two times where I paroled from Quentin. It was high control parole, but I've been knowing them motherfuckers that worked there in R&R for so long that they let me go. They let me catch the bus right there in Marin. Anyway, so when I get out to the front gate, the homeboy Sal from my hood, he came to pick me up. So anyway, we smash over to a liquor store in Marin. I go into a liquor store, I grab a 40 ounce, man. Fucking Old English 800, straight fucking nasty ass ghetto beer, man. That's what I grew up on. That shit, they used to put it in my pacifier when I was a baby. Anyway, man, by the time we end up getting to the city after we crossed the bridge, I was faded, man. That 40 lit my ass up. I had an envelope with all my cash, my gate money in it, and I had like some letters and some pictures and shit that I paroled with. Boom. I end up catching a bus over there to 16th and 15th and Mission. I get off the bus. At that time, I was living with my daughter's mom and her mom on 16th and Cap, like I told you guys yesterday in that other episode. And so I hit a phone booth and I call her up. I'm like, hey, I'm right here. I'm around the corner. And she's like, fuck, why are you around the corner? She's like, get over here. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter's ready to see you. So I'm like, I was scared, man. You know what I'm saying? I was flustered. It was like, damn, I got a brand new baby girl, man. I don't know, man. It's something about, I was happy when my son was born, but for a father, a baby girl, it's a different kind of experience. For those fathers out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just, I was I was on cloud nine, man. You know what I'm saying? I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I start walking to the house, and I get over there, man, and I walk upstairs. I greet my lady at that time at the door. She greets me at the door, and she's like, "Hey, your daughter, she's in there." So I go in there and I see her for the first time. I pick her up, man. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. There's nothing in the world like that type of happiness right there. Anyway, when I'm there holding her, something dawns on me. Fuck, my fucking gate money. I don't got no pockets. I'm wearing sweats. Well, I got pockets, but I'm wearing sweats, and I know it's not in my pocket. I set that motherfucker up on top of the phone. I tell her, "Hey, grab her. I'll be right back." I jog down there. Fucking shit's gone, man. Some motherfucking wino or some junkie um, ended up coming up, and I made their day that day, man. Straight up, somebody came up. That part of the mission right there is Skid Row, so you got a bunch of fucking lowlifes out there that somebody grabbed it, and they grabbed it quick too. So anyway, now getting to the good part of this story. So I'm gonna tell you guys like this, man. When I was around that age, 25, I had a real bad attitude, man. I was a hothead. I had a real bad temper. I was easily. It didn't take a lot to piss me off, man. My daughter's mom, she knew how to push my buttons. We were like water and oil, man. You know what I mean? She knew how to piss me off, and when I get mad, she would continue to just keep pushing, man, keep pushing, keep talking. And we used to fight like cats and dogs, man. We used to argue and fight and argue and fight. And on this one particular night that this incident happened, we were going at it, and I got to the point where I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna leave, man. I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm a book. You know what I mean? I'll be back later. But prior to me, leaving, I started to put my daughter in her little carrier, and my girl, she was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm fucking taking her." She's like, "No, you're not." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking yes, I am." She's like, so anyway, we end up getting into a little squab over my daughter, and I end up conceding, man. I'm like, fuck it, man. But now I'm pissed off. I get so fucking mad that I used to put my hands through the walls and break doors, and I used to just be a knucklehead, man. When I would get mad, I get upset. I had a bad temper. So what ended up happening is I stormed out the house, and I walked downstairs, and I was just gonna take a walk, man. But when I came down the stairs, right across the street in front of her apartment complex, there's a Walgreens parking lot. So you're looking at the back of Walgreens. The front of Walgreens is around the corner on 16th and Mission. So anyway, when I come down the stairs, and I'm on the sidewalk, I see two cats across the street in Walgreens parking lot. One of them got a Dallas Cowboy jersey on. The other one's got a blue sweatshirt on. That in those days, that's when I was doing my thing, man. All I see is a chance to get some of this frustration out. There's two of them. They're not little dudes, but they're not big dudes. They're not youngsters. They're like in their 20s, man. They're about my same age. At that time, I was 25. I got a box cutter in my pocket. I'm pissed off, man. I'm mad. There'd be times where other times, I'll tell you guys, where I would be arguing with my girl, and I just jump out the car and I'd run up to somebody and just start fucking them up. I had a really bad temper, and that's the type of shit I used to do. I'd have to break something, put my hand through a wall, mop somebody up. So on this particular night, I see these two cats. As soon as I see them, the first thought that came to my mind was, They got to be Southsiders. They're probably from 19th Street. And I had been funking with these dudes for a while now. You know, shout out to all my Southside boys. You guys already know. You know, by now, I don't feel like I got to keep saying that. You guys know what time it is, man. I'm just giving you guys the dirt. Anyway, so, you know, that's what I'm thinking. These dudes are probably from 19th. Back in those days, around that time, they were, you know, they were dropping some of my homies. They had killed a couple of my homies, like I had mentioned in the previous episode. They killed Capone from Oakland, Eddie Mestis, and they got a couple of my homeboys from my neighborhood, and they were getting crafty too, man. There'd be times, you guys will hear more about all this stuff, but there'd be times when they started doing the same shit that I was doing, as far as like they'd flame up, you know, they throw on red rags, red hats, baseball hats, and they'd be in a car 4 deep, and they pull up, and when they pull up, they'd be like, "Hey, what's up, homie?" And I thought they were like homies from Hampshire or fucking Bryan Street. Thought they were Bryan Street boys or Natoma Street, and you know, luckily they never got me like that. But other homies, when they would see him, they'd be like, "Hey, what's up, homie?" And the homie walk up and they put a shotgun. They pull out a shotgun and end up smoking the homie. That's the type of shit that they were doing. But we were doing it too. Anyway, so I see these guys. I end up running across the street. I run over there to them, and I just want to fight. I'm mad as fuck. I'm pissed off. I wanted to take my daughter. She wouldn't let me. So I run up to these dudes and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? Where you motherfuckers from?" I jam them up, you know what I mean? And they turn around, they look at me and don't say shit. They just turned, looked at me and didn't say nothing, turned back around and started walking. And that pissed me off even more, the fact that they didn't say nothing. So they were going into Walgreens, because even though Walgreens, this was the back of Walgreens, there was 2 entrances. You could go in from the back side, you can go in from the front side. Anyway, they started to go in, and I ended up grabbing one of them. I came up behind him and I grabbed one I grabbed 2 handfuls of his fucking collar, and I just fucking snatched him up and threw him. And then I started bombing on his homie. Anyway, the one that I started bombing with, he tried, at first, he just tried to avoid me. But then, you know, when I stayed on him, he tried to fight back. Like he was supposed to. As I'm fighting with this dude, I look over at the other dude, and he's acting like he wants to fight now too. All I do is, like, I'm fighting with this dude, and I stomp on the ground, and that dude jumps back. He didn't want nothing. You know what I mean? That's all I was doing. I'm slinging him with this dude, and I keep stomping on the ground, making this dude jump back. Anyway, finally, I end up pulling the box cutter out. At one point, the dude that I was fighting, I ended up dropping him. When he went to get up, I had the box cutter, already had pushed the blade out. I start swinging the box cutter at this dude, crazy, man. And I know I hit him. I went for a neck shot, man. I went for a neck shot, and when he backed up, I looked at him and I didn't see no blood or nothing. And I knew I had hit the motherfucker, man, because I felt it. You know what I mean? When he backed up, when I was still squared up with him, I was looking at his homie. Now I'm looking at his homie. He's standing in front of me, and I'm looking at him, and all of a sudden, his throat just opens up. That's how sharp the blade was. The blade must have been sharp as fuck, man. His fucking throat opens up, and I don't even think he knew at first that he had been hit, because, you know, when he popped back up off the ground, he squared up with me. But then that's when his throat just opened up. It opened up, and he started bleeding. He started leaking. Touched his throat, he seen blood, and then he drops to a knee like he's dying and shit. His homie, I rush his homie, I try to go after him. He runs into Walgreens. runs through Walgreens. I run after him. I try to get him, but he was too fast. So I come back. The dude that I hit with the razor, he's still on the ground. Um, all I was doing was trying to fucking hit this dude. But for whatever reason, I went from going into fucking smash mode to rob mode. Because when he was down, I snatched his chain off. He had a chain on, a fat ass chain, and I took his rings off his fingers. This dude was leaking, man. He didn't make no attempt to fight back. He couldn't. You know what I mean? He's acting like he was dying. You guys remember a good scene right here that this reminds me of. You guys remember seeing Menace to Society when Kane got shot? Not in the end, but the first time when he had blood spurting out everywhere and he thought he was dying. Lightweight, that's how this guy was, man. Anyway, after I take this dude's jewelry, I get up and I run back across the street and I ring the doorbell, and my daughter's mom, she buzzes me in, and I run up the stairs. Well, I'm walking up the stairs. Out of nowhere, fucking nowhere, man. All I hear is footsteps, and I hear footsteps coming closer, like they're running, and boom, they hit the gate, and they're like, open the gate, SFPD. And I ran up the stairs. And my daughter's mom, my daughter's mom's mom does not speak English. But I told her, my daughter's mom, tell her do not open the fucking gate. I ran through the house, ran out the back door, and ran down the stairs. Now this is 16th and Mission. There's a lot of apartments right there, and a lot of these apartments, they're fucking like 5-6 story apartments, and they got like 5-6 flights of stairs and little alleyways, and they're all bunched together. Anyway, so I run through the apartment, I run out the back door, I run down the stairs, I go all the way down the stairs. I still got the necklace and the rings in my hand. So when I get down to the bottom, to the first floor, there's a laundry room, and then there's all the garbage cans that are lined up for all the different residents in the complex. So I jump the little fence and I squat down next to the last garbage can, and I just stay right there, man. I stay right there. Now I'm trapped too, because there's a door. Now there's a door like to my right. That door, though, it leads out to the street, which is right in front of the apartment. If I go out that door, those cops are probably standing there, or there's a car right there or something. I don't know. All I know is that they came through the apartment. So I stay in that little spot. I stay in that spot where I'm at. I'm still kneeling down, and it's like a good, I want to say a good 5 minutes later. It's at nighttime. It's starting to get dark. So where I'm at, I can't really see the back door where I ran out of, or the stairs, but I can see flashlights, the beams from the flashlights. I can see them flickering and shit, like all on the walls and shit. So anyway, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm fucking gonna go to fucking jail for fucking, I caught a new case for sure, for fucking slitting this dude's throat, and for fucking robbery. And I'm a second striker. I was a second striker at that time. So I was tripping, man. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, fuck. These fools find me, it's all bad, man. Man. So I stay right there where I'm at. These cops, I can hear them coming down the stairs. They're looking everywhere for me. I swear to God, man, the lights were coming closer and closer to me. I knew I was busted. There's no way that I was going to get out of that situation. They were searching everywhere. As they got closer, as I seen the beams from the flashlights get closer, I opened up the garbage is right here. I'm squatting down right by it. I open up the top and I put my hand inside the garbage so I can just get ready to just drop the chain and the rings. I just got my hand like this. I don't let it go yet. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and they're getting closer and closer. And I know they're gonna jump the fence. Why wouldn't they? That's like the only last place where I could be at. There's they could go to the other apartment. It's like a little bit around the corner, and I could have jumped over that fence, I guess. But it just wouldn't make no sense why they wouldn't jump that fence and search the laundry room and that little area right there. Man, they came all the way to the fence where I was hiding, flashed their flashlights, and turned around and walked back up the fucking stairs. I'm not lucky, man. I don't get lucky, but that was one time that I was like, motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? I knew I was going to jail with the new case. I was already thinking about it. You know what I mean? But I caught a break that day. I caught a fucking break. But I wasn't out the water yet. These fools came up in the apartment, and I knew I was going to be in trouble. So anyway, to wrap this up, this is what happens, man. I wait about 20 minutes, and that door that I told you guys goes out to the front. It has like a little crack under it. You can bend down and look underneath, like where the stairs at, and you can kind of see out in the front. Well, I look out there, and I knew there was cop cars out there, but now they're gone. They're gone. So I jump back over the fence, and I go back up the stairs. My daughter's mom is in the kitchen. She's fucking pissed off, man. I don't know what she's saying. She's talking 1,000 miles an hour in Spanish. He got to go, man. That's all I know. I knew that's what she was saying. I understood a little bit, and I understood that part. Like, he cannot stay here. She just kept saying, no, 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 no. Too many problems. Too many problems. So straight up, my daughter's mom is like, hey, she don't want you to stay here. You know what I mean? She's scared that the cops are gonna come back and they're looking for you. And you know, the crazy thing, man, is these were two undercover narcs, two white guys. I had been running around the mission for years, but I never seen these two dudes. There was cops out there, Cozy Old Dempsey, a cop that we used to call Cagney and Lacey, Ditto, Miranda. But these cops, I'd never even seen them before, never heard of them or nothing. They said their names back then, but I didn't recognize them. Anyway, so when I get back up there where my daughter's mom's at, I ask her, what do they say? And she's like, they searched the whole apartment. You know, they went in my mom's room. She was pissed off. They were going through her shit. She was like, but they took your picture and they took one of your letters. I was like, fuck, are you fucking kidding me? And I said, well, what did they say? And they were like, this dude is going to jail. He's going to go to prison. We're going to get in touch with this parole officer and just tell him he's got major problems. You know what I'm saying? So I was stressed the fuck out, man. For the whole rest of the night, I was tripping. In the morning, what happened is I told my daughter's mom and her sister, Letitia. I told my daughter's mom and Letitia. I told them I needed them to go across the street and to go to that Craigan's, because there was the Walgreens and then there's a Craigan's right there. And that's where, basically, that's kind of like where it happened, right in front of Craigan's. There's probably blood on the window. If there was any blood, it was more in Craigan's doorway. That's where it kind of happened. So anyway, I'm like, go down there and talk to the employees, man. Go see what you guys can find out. I was putting my feelers out there. I wanted to know what the fuck was going on. So anyway, I watch them. They walk over there, and anyway, she comes back and she says that she has some good news, and I'm like, what could, how could you have some good news for me? Anyway, she tells me, she's like, one of the employees that was there, Cragen, said that he was working last night when that incident happened, and that SFPD, they asked them about the incident, but it was like they weren't really even tripping on it. You know what I mean? They just, they wrote some notes and said that they were gonna catch up with the guy that assaulted the other guy, but there was no victim. The victims bounced. They split. So the cops had said something to the effect of, well, we ain't got no victim, we ain't got no body, we can't do nothing. You know, if these dudes want, if they want get back, or if they, you know, they want to press charges, somebody got to make a report. Maybe he'll end up at the hospital or something, but nothing happened. I never heard nothing else about that incident. I didn't hear how or when they got arrested, or if they ever spoke to the cops. My parole never said nothing, man. I caught a fucking break, man. You know, I sliced that dude up pretty good. You know, I don't know if I hit him anywhere else, but I know for a fact I gave him a Kool-Aid smile. For those of you that don't know what Kool-Aid smiles are, Kool-Aid smile is when you basically run the blade across somebody's neck from ear to ear. That's what we used to call Kool-Aid smiles. Anyway, I know I hurt the dude. I hit him bad. He was bleeding like a motherfucker. But for whatever reason, nothing came of it, man. Maybe it just wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know. But, you know, I was petrified for the next week, thinking at any given time they're gonna swoop up, I'm gonna get arrested, or, you know, when I gotta go see my parole officer, that's when you're gonna start tripping. And matter of fact, I was so terrified to even call my parole officer. I didn't even want to call him, but I called just to see if I could feel something in the air when I called him, and he didn't mention nothing. Tell me that ain't crazy. I mean, you know, that story right there, I mentioned it in my book. Anyway, that was just a short, quick one. I know I kind of got off about, you know, my daughter and shit, but you know, these are war stories, but I want to give you guys a little bit of positivity too. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep these raw and gritty. I'm not gonna close it with the positive message. It's supposed to be negative. That's what it is. You guys want war stories? That's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you the dirt, all the shit that I've done throughout the years, the fights, the stabbings, the shootings, the drive-bys. I'm gonna give it all to you, man. I got plenty of them. We're gonna be here for a while, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man. I'm gonna keep cutting them. As you guys can see, I'm cutting more and more videos. I'm trying to keep my word and get as much content out as I can, so that I keep you guys interested. I'm not trying to, so I'm just gonna try to make it a little bit more consistent, so that it's easier for you guys to follow, so that you guys remember where I'm at, especially if these stories are set in sequence, if they're supposed to be, if it's a running story from where it takes 2 or 3 videos. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna try to cut in Inner Demons tonight. We have chapters going out. We're doing. I'm narrating more books. We got a new lineup. I'm dropping a Q&A. If you guys got questions, drop them in the comment section. With that being said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. This is Monday. This will drop tonight. You guys have a good night. You hear Gizmo. I'm going to go spank his butt right now.